We've been working with Andy Miller here at Verado for a better part of about 4 or 5 months. We've come to really respect his expertise and the value that he's provided us within our recruiting processes, really mainly around our approach, the guidance that he provided on our interviewing techniques and our interviewing questions and processes, as well as the interpretation of the results of our interviews with these sales candidates as we look to build and scale out our sales team here at Verado. To start our recruiting efforts, we really struggled, and most organizations, I think, struggle with, the time and the intensity of talking to candidates and having candidates in the door that may or may not meet the criteria or the fit for the organization. And in working with Andy, his leveraging and recommendation of an assessment and how to use an assessment in that process to eliminate the candidates that weren't really a good fit from the start can tremendously improve your productivity for sales recruiting. Just not having to go through talking to folks that frankly weren't of good quality fit for the organization. And Andy really helped us with his guidance and his expertise, put the assessment and the process in place to help us be more productive there in our approach. Secondarily, around the guidance for our interview process, his recommendations and his level of expertise here, leveraging and his recommendations of leveraging multiple stakeholders in the interview process using a variety of questions to really drive to understand, what the qualifications of the individual candidate, how they would fit into the organization, if they would be productive, and what areas specifically could they, potentially benefit from, and how fast they could ramp and be productive in an organization. He coupled his, the assessment we use to identify the quality candidates along with, his interview approach and his recommendations on and strategies on how to conduct these interviews, really to be a much more productive process for us in really getting to candidates that fit the bill, and that we had a high degree of confidence that these candidates would be productive here at Verado. And then lastly, in the interpretation of results throughout that interview process and the candidate selection process, Andy's expertise was really helpful in really correlating the interview answers and questions to our qualifications that we need and the needs of the organization moving forward. So he's been a tremendous asset to us. His expertise in this area is really significant. And to have him embody that in a piece of work that I can read and learn more about this process is really helpful. So thanks.